Hey everyone, happy Facebook Live. It is snowing like crazy. That was our Weatherbug Network camera
Yeah.
from Waldron in Scott County. Knew that camera would come in very handy. Look at that.
So
Man,
like snow, that's the place to be.
those are some big old dendrites. And Zach was actually asking this question right before we went to this live stream and started it. You're asking, is this a higher or lower snow ratio? Meaning liquid water equivalent to the amount of snow. If you have these big flakes that are clumping together, then you know they have a higher moisture content
Yeah.
because that allows those the flakes to become basically clumped together, and that's what causes those huge snowflakes. Believe it or not, those big snowflakes are actually clumps of snowflakes together
Yeah,
because a
makes
dendrite
sense.
can only be so big, obviously. But hey, what is going on? Hope everybody's having a good one. Let's get to the very latest on Mega Doppler as precipitation continues to come down. And it's coming down in northwest Arkansas as well. But you'll see it's still struggling to get those heavier snow rates. But we are starting to see more snow fall in northwest Arkansas. Zach, what's been the biggest takeaway, would you say, from this system so far?
Well, there seems to be some drier air trying to work its way in. So that could be a limiting factor to our snowfall totals as of right now. River Valley definitely seeing the bulk of that heavier snow in northwest Arkansas is a little bit lighter. And that's because kind of the higher snowfall rates, you see them in the pinkish colors with darker purples. It's kind of sapping the moisture from the atmosphere. So as all the energy moves in from the south, the air in our area, there's a little bit less of the moisture content in the atmosphere. So our snow in northwest Arkansas isn't as heavy as the River Valley.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
but we can see it maybe starting to increase a little bit across northwest Arkansas.
Look at Mount Ida, though. I was talking about how Mount Ida is really, I'm telling you what, that is about as heavy as snow as you can get. In fact, why don't we turn off? Yeah, you get that much, and then you go to this. That is definitely snowfall. And then you look at this. Let's look at the hydrometeor classification. And here you have essentially grapple. So you have grapple and snowfall. This is, by the way, some very dry snow that's over the air. So we're talking some massive snow rates.
Probably get over a foot down there.
I think that looks like definitely over a foot. I mean, let's go back and we'll look at the reflectivity. That is about as heavy as snow as you can get. That's what we had on February 9th of 2011. Let's get to some comments. We're going to have them coming through pretty quick, so we'll make this more of an interactive Facebook Live. If you have a question, go ahead and comment away. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to Edward. Edward, love you, man. Love that guy. He's so cool. So we appreciate you, Edward, and thanks for being such a loyal viewer. And also giving shout out to other people, letting them know, hey, we're on, we're going. And there's Brendan saying, "What's up, Edward?" How will I know when it starts snowing? It depends on where you're at. I think all you got to do is look out the window on that one, and there's the Fulbright Junior High Weatherbug Network camera. That's snow.
I think Jammin might be making a joke. He was being pretty funny our last live stream.
Jammin York. Yeah. Well, the best way to do that is look out the window. Now, look at that. It's not snowing as heavily in Fort Smith. When you start seeing conditions where visibility is reduced like that, that's when you know you got heavier snow that's coming down. If you see those white things falling from the sky, that's a pretty good indication that it's snowing like this. That's some pretty decent snow right there. Well, if it's not snow, someone's got a serious dandruff problem, like a really bad dandruff problem. All right. So pretty. Man, loving the snow. I don't think he ate any more SpaghettiOs. I think he's done. I think he's sound asleep now.
Hopefully he is.
That intro music is fire.
Oh.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't play the other one because we were wondering. We got a nice little comment. Jeremy, you are in the River Valley, a little over 3.5 so far. That's cool. Appreciate that report. Anybody in Scott County and Waldron, love to know that. Hey, look at that. I've got this beautiful girl on the Facebook Live.
Awesome.
Man, thanks for joining in. You guys nailed the forecast and the timing. Thank you so much, loves. Appreciate it. She's a little biased, but hey, that's looking like it's pretty good. You bought 450 rolls of toilet paper.
Gearing up.
Gearing up to toilet paper someone's house? I don't know, man. Jam in York. So how will the roads look tomorrow? They're going to be a mess because snow will continue to fall overnight tonight, and that's what we're going to see. Is there school tomorrow? Depends on where you're at. I don't know. Is Jam in York local? Is this guy like somewhere international? I don't know. But Jam in York, here's the deal, man. If you're in Northwest Arkansas in the River Valley, you pretty much don't have school tomorrow. Although I think he looks like maybe you graduated already. Is he like Billy Madison working his way through the grades over time? I'm actually satisfied with what we've gotten so far. Nice up here in Northwest Arkansas. Yeah, it's not bad. He's selling the toilet paper for $50 a roll.
Right.
How about this? This is a good one. NWA is so cold that hitchhikers are holding up pictures of thumbs instead of putting their thumbs out there.
Is that a quote from you?
No, that's not a quote from me, but I've done the NWA so cold before. We've done that back. So much drama in the DGZ. It's hard being a chief met on TV. But, somehow, some way, keep coming up with really good snowfall maps every single day. Honestly, just loving the event.
It's not too bad.
Hey,
let's be a music producer.
Snoop Dogg. Thanks for clarifying this. Indeed, snow that I'm seeing. Nice. Sliding in Prairie Grove. Not slide. I thought it said sledding. Sliding is not good. No. I'll tell you this, man. Edward, that is a good question. We are having fun. We are joking around, but all seriousness, that fire that's in California is absolutely devastating. And what is causing it, believe it or not, is this storm that we're experiencing right now had a big part in what caused and fueled those fires. Now, caused them not so much. Fueled them, absolutely, with the winds. Let me show you what we're talking about, Edward, just in case you want to know. So here's a look at, I'm going to look at the water vapor. We're going to bring this up full. Did our battery run out?
Yeah, I can turn it back on a little bit.
All right, we're good. I'm going to do this. We're going to go 48 hours out. Man, if it wasn't for my wife, she made me a nice big breakfast this morning. Got me through the day. It really did.
What'd you have?
Oh man, she made eggs and bacon and biscuits and had some biscuit. Yeah, had some
making me hungry.
Oh yeah, it was good.
I'm kind of lacking the calories today.
Got to hit the gym there, Zach. All right. So back to this. This is that storm system that was evolving. This is the last 48 hours. You can see the giant low. There it is churning. Now, in order to see Santa Ana winds, what you're going to have is a high pressure system and a low pressure system kind of sandwiched very close between the two. Typically, with Santa Ana winds, you got the low pressure south of California, and then you got high pressure north of that system. That caused a tight pressure gradient, which is what fueled the winds because you have clockwise flow around a high, counterclockwise around a low. And when you funnel in between those two, that's where your Santa Ana winds really start cranking up. So that's why those fires were fueled by, 70, 80, 90, even 200 mile an hour winds on some of the mountaintops.
And I've been out in that part of California, and I can attest that region is very arid.
Yeah.
The air is bone dry.
Bone dry. Absolutely. And they have moderate drought in a lot of locations. So that's the reason for that. And why they didn't get any snow, but actually they did get snow in Flagstaff, in case you were wondering. We could show you, and the system dropped south of dropped south of LA, but let's go back over the last 48 hours and show you that storm system really didn't produce a whole lot of snowfall over California, except in the mountains. They had quite a bit in the mountains. Let's go back to minus 72 hours here real quick, and we'll show you. So here's the storm system as it evolves. See, a little bit of snow. We'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see this, and we'll go back to our snowfall. But there's the system that's developing, and then as that low pressure system develop, high pressure to the north, you just get super strong, crazy winds. Now here's this storm system as it was moving in, and you'll notice first of all a lot of precipitation expanding across the area. Let me bring this up full so you can see what we're talking about. There's the snow moving into the river valley right around, I'd say Ouachitas was about 8, 9 o'clock, which was pretty much right on point with what we said. Then you got the timing of the snow moving in about noon. I'll give a shout out to Peyton because Peyton, when I was drawing the timing map, he said make it more kind of west to east on that precipitation because I had it a little more northwest to southeast in terms of the line, how it was going to evolve. And he had it more west to east. And that was a 100% true, and he called me out on that, and I was right. I mean, he was right. So to do that for the timing wise as it lifts northward, then you're going to see at times some breaks in the snowfall. So this is where it started to weaken and die out, and then it moved eastward and started to fill back in. Now we're still getting some snow, but on the back edge of this system is where we're starting to see that dry air, the dry slot, the dreaded dry slot. There is some snow filling in, but this is not the deep dendritic growth zone. So what we mean by that is that's where snowflakes form, which, by the way, was -12 to -17, Zach, Celsius, I think, for the dendritic growth zone, if I'm not mistaken.
Can look that up. But
Yeah, look it up and see if I'm wrong.
it'll
or
show you
not.
on Buffcare.
Yep.
Should we open up Buffcare or is it not necessary?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll show some model sounding. So there's that dry slot working its way east. Yes, there is some snow that's developing to the west of the dry slot as that wraparound starts to develop. But as far as the heaviest snow, as we mentioned before, that is going to be during the warm conveyor belt snowfall, which is what we're getting. So
People are probably wondering, will smoke from those wildfires reach us?
That's a question that I need to look up, honestly. Stand by here.
We can do that pretty easily by looking at the upward flow.
Yes. And how it will evolve over time.
Yeah.
Let's see if, before I load this up, I want to see if this even has anything depicted. And just like I thought, it doesn't. But it might just still be loading. It looks like it's still loading. So let's see here. Yeah. So the upper flow is more northeast to southwest. Here you got the smoke model, and there you see all that smoke, and you can see it moving to the southwest of our area. And it doesn't get anywhere close. So now I don't think so. Let's see if this shows up. We'll let this surface smoke model see if that starts showing up anything. Yeah, no. There is some fires that are going on, I guess, in Canada still, and we're getting that northwest flow with the cross-polar flow on the and that shows up with some very low light surface smoke. But look at areas to our west. That's a much more significant smoke event, and that's staying to our west and dropping straight south. So what is that dendritic growth zone?
It's about
Zach?
18 to 12 or 17 to 12, because you can see it right there, -12,
And what did I say?
-12, 17.
And there it is.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good to me.
All right. Just tuning in. Any major changes? So this is about 10 minutes ago that this comment came in. No major changes to the expected amounts. And there's a good reason for that. We went through everything. We'll do it again. But here's the latest expected snow totals. And I think, Zach, this is going to be right on. As we are seeing additional snow, but as someone mentioned, the flakes are so small that you can barely see that it's snowing. Look. Where was that comment? Brent, grab it. The flakes are so small you can't see it. Looks like fog. That's not handy at all. Let's see if we can see any indicator. So yeah, you see it looks like fog, but the flakes are pretty small, and the reason for that moisture is being sapped. But going back to this comment, Just tuning in, any major changes to the snowfall accumulation map? Nope. We upped it from 2 to 4 to 3 to 5, and 5 may be the upper end of the snowfall in northwest Arkansas, especially Benton County. Areas to the south are going to be a little bit more, obviously 6 to 8. Probably could have put an 8 to 10 in there, but we got 8 plus. So
Probably far southern Scott County.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's close to a foot of snow. Because we go back to our Waldron Weatherbug Network camera. That is, golly, that is coming
It's
down.
been doing that for hours.
That is coming down for sure. All right.
I wonder if anybody watching is in Scott County. Leave a comment.
Yeah. How do you think the road from Solon to MLK will be tomorrow around 11 a.m.? 11 a.m. So I think the snow is going to be out of here at 11 a.m. Let me show you what we've got on some of the modeling here.
Probably still some slushy areas.
I think so, for sure.
Because the sun's not going to come out tomorrow.
Not until the latter half of maybe in the evening.
Maybe in the evening, yeah.
But it's going to be close.
Late afternoon.
Yeah, if it does,
like
it'll be partially. There'll be some breaks in the clouds, but that's about it. Let's go to this timing. Yeah, you may be right. It might not show up a whole lot, especially with that wraparound. So here's the precipitation that's expected with the graph model. This is the 3 kilometers, updates every hour. Snow overnight tonight, and then by the morning, here comes that dry slot. 5, 6 a.m. Boom. That's about it. So 7 a.m. precipitation will start moving out, but we're still going to see a few flurries. And notice how those snow flurries come in from the northwest. That's what we call wraparound. Now, this is something interesting. We're going to go through this. I know there's been varying totals all across the board with this system, and probably more so than any other system that I've seen in recent memory, because it's a tricky forecast. There's a lot of factors that go into snowfall forecasting. But if we look at this on the snow accumulation map, you'll see the graph now has about 5 inches. Before it had 6.5, so it's not as much. Then you work your way on the European. That's been pretty spot on so far. Maybe a little underdone in Scott and Leflore County, so not perfect. GFS probably has a pretty good handle. Little Rock, by the way, has been seeing some sleet reports too, with some of the precipitation type on the radar. And then you got the NAM. Oh, it finally is dropping them off, isn't it? But it still shows 6.2. Now, what's interesting with the NAM is, like we've been saying before, there is something that is needs to be taken into account, which is melting. Melting is a factor with temperatures that are right around freezing and wet snowflakes. And here is a great example of that melting. Now, I want you to pay attention to the parking lot. This is on our Weatherbug Network camera. This is about when the snow started to come down a little after 11:30. Watch the snow in the parking lot really start to pick up. And then during the afternoon, when the snow starts to taper off a little bit, it starts to melt. Then you see it melting again. And now, obviously, in the evening time, the snow is not as heavy, but it's not melting as fast because the temperatures have cooled off and the pavement and the ground conditions have cooled off. But again, going back to this, you got, even though the temperature is below freezing, look at that melting that occurs. Look at the roads, too, how they increased and got a lot better. And so all of that takes into account with what's called snow depth. Now, I mentioned this many times before, but this is the snow depth total compared to the NAM that showed the snow totals, and that is converting all of that liquid precipitation immediately to snowfall. You saw that obviously didn't happen.
So that's going to be a better representation.
It's a better representation of what happens, and this is why I think totals have varied across the board.
And not only it doesn't do, because what you showed earlier was the 10-to-1 ratio.
10-to-1.
So that snow depth, it also takes into account the column of air, the thickness. So the different snow ratios, it will change it based on the model data.
Now, we mentioned this before. There might be the same people that are on here before, so you're going to hear this again. But for those that aren't, those that are new that weren't on here earlier, This is the snow to liquid ratios. Now, Zach actually did a live report on this and demonstrated this, but I'll let you take the viewers here on Facebook Live through this graphic.
Yeah, so here's a graphic shows, when it snows. So we're doing ratios. So we got 1 inch of water. So precipitable water, the water that falls. So if it's above freezing, we get the rain. But if it's approaching freezing, below freezing, that's when we get some snow involved. So here's some temperatures and the ratios involved with those. So when it's around 34 degrees, that's your wet, heavy snow. A lot of moisture gets involved in there, a lot of compaction. Now that's when we have 1 inch of water. That will be 7 inches of snow. That is that wet, heavy, good snowball snow. The snow, if you're shoveling your driveway, you're breaking your back. I remember me growing up, we got a super long driveway. Remember, my dad would be like, gotta shovel it. So I remember sometimes when it was that wet, heavy snow, that would be a good workout. I broken shovels doing that.
I know. I remember back in January of this year, we had a heavy, wet snow. So heavy, in fact, that it was over 6 inches that it was causing power outages.
Yeah,
because it was accumulating on tree branches, on power lines. Even though typically snow doesn't do that, it was a wet snow. So that 7 that you see is the amount of snow. The 1 that you see at the second half of the ratio is the liquid water equivalent, which is always 1 inch of water.
Yeah, so there are a lot of negative aspects to a high ratio or to a low ratio snow event. So one, you got the snow on the power lines, on those tree branches that can bring them down, cause power outages. Another factor that isn't as good is when you're driving over this wet snow, you kind of get some, there's a lot of moisture involved in it. You kind of get some water. If we refreeze like what we had earlier, if we had a low ratio during the afternoon, and then if we got colder overnight, some of that could refreeze into ice.
Yeah.
And that can make for some slick spots heading into tomorrow morning. And the ratio that we're seeing right now is probably just under 10 to 1.
Yeah.
So there is some moisture involved. So we are going to be dealing with some of that refreezing.
And that's where you have a 10 to 1 ratio if you're right around freezing and a little bit below. And remember, it's not just the surface temperature, it's also the temperature throughout the column. When it's really cold, then you might have heard it can be too dry to snow, but really it could be too cold to snow. There really isn't a truth to that statement. It can be too dry to snow, but not too cold to snow. But remember, when you're talking about colder and colder weather, the amount of water vapor that's being able to be held in that type of temperature gets lower and lower. So when you get super cold, like negative 20, negative 30 degrees Celsius, you have very little moisture content in the atmosphere, probably not even enough to form ice crystals or dendrites, so you won't get snow. So it can be too dry to snow, but it can't be too cold to snow. So you could tell someone when you go up to them tomorrow and be like, hey, true or false, it can be too cold to snow. That'd be false.
Yeah, a good analogy for that is back in college, my professor Eisenson, shout out if you're watching.
But maybe. Wow, maybe.
Yeah, he used to always say, think about the temperature, like the size of a lecture hall in college. So the lower the temperature, the less seats are in the classroom. So the less capacity to hold students, less capacity to hold water vapor.
That's really cool.
So that's what he used to always say. So as long as you have water vapor, it can't snow.
Think of this too. The more we geek out, the less viewers we have.
True.
They're dropping off. They're dropping off quick, just like the lecture hall. So there you go. Yeah, that's the colder water vapor. But anyways, I know people want to know more of what's going to happen. But hey, we like to educate. Finally, really cold weather. When you got 10 degrees, very rarely does it snow at that temperature, but it can. And when it does, you've got some serious piling up of the snow. Someone made an analogy, which I thought was great. You have a piece of paper that's going to be really flat. You stack that up. It's going to take a lot of pieces of paper to get to, a certain height. Whereas with crumpled paper, you can pile that up a lot faster.
Yeah,
it's great. I like that analogy. All right, more comments. We talked about the roads. How do I know it stop snowing. Well, you look outside and you don't see snowflakes. That's a snowing good in Rogers, just over 2 inches on the ground. Okay, that's cool. Love that. Marshmallows. You know what's also cool too? This is geeking out. Have you ever stepped out when it's snowing and just almost like you can't hear anything? It's just so silent. You ever experience that?
Yeah.
Where it's just super quiet. You know why? Because snowflakes are a good absorber of sound waves. So when you have sound
Wow.
traveling, they get muffled and deadened by those snowflakes, and those sound waves are bouncing off of the snowflakes and not reaching your ear as much, which is
Wow.
why it's so quiet.
I've never thought about that before.
There you go.
Huh.
It's really cool. So experiment with that. Go outside, listen to the snow come down. Everything's nice and quiet. Doesn't mean you can't hear anything. You might be able to hear some sirens off in the distance, or cars driving, but it is definitely noticeably quieter when it's snowing because those snowflakes deaden the sound. Pretty cool stuff. But let's go back here. Oh wow, we're not going to show that one, Jammin. We just got that comment. Mrs. Scoff's tuning in. She's probably out. Let me know if you're still on here. 400 pounds of bread. Oh, speaking of bread, I got to show you this. This is kind of cool. Check out these right here. Bread and milk socks.
Oh, look at those.
How about that? So we got the bread and milk that's falling down.
You know, I went to the store the other day and I was going to make a recipe. I forgot milk.
Oh, no.
So I got to go get some milk.
How about this? Parts of southwest Kansas and Amarillo, Texas got 10 inches with a wraparound snow band. Wow. Well, that's 10 inches? Is that all wraparound? That seems like a lot, but maybe that is. Did they update the details behind the winter storm warning? Let's see. I hear it beeping. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I do. I hear it beeping. You might be right, Wyatt. I'm gonna see if they've got, because we won't be able to see the. Oh, they lowered the totals. Wow, they have. Let's see here, 7 to 9 now. Let's see what we got. The winter storm warning. They didn't change anything. It doesn't look like it. They just updated. Looks like they have the lower end at 7 inches. That's a lot. Gravette School District closed tomorrow. There's going to be some problems here with the driving tomorrow. Man, let's see what happens here. Let's see here. Question: fishing tomorrow on Beaver Lake. What is a good bait to use? Yeah, the winds won't be too bad. Beaver Lake, I bet you the fish will be biting. I'm actually not sure about that. 3.5 to 4 inches of snow in Elma. Okay, good report there.
Believe that.
There's a Fulbright Junior High WeatherBug Network camera. You better believe it. There it is right there, showing that snow. That snow is coming down pretty good now. Does clumpy flakes mean power can go out? If it gets heavier enough, yes. Oh, Snoop would be amazing doing the forecast. You got it. Well, you got to get ahead of the rush, right? That's for that warming trend that we're going to see later on in the week. Yeah, we can look at the Bentonville Square. Let's bring up the Bentonville Square.
Oh.
Don't bring it up on this though. Nope.
All right.
There's a reason. You got to bring it up on Weather 3. I haven't changed the IP address on that.
Oh, got it.
Yep. Actually, you don't need to do that, but yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
I can bring it up here.
Oh, you got it.
Bentonville Square. There you go. Arson caused those fires. I heard too. They started off as small fires, so Walmart is a riot. Zach does need to hit the gym. Them are fighting words there.
No, you're right. Do you think I should make it tonight?
Preparing for a polar plunge. Oh man, that's crazy. As a pilot, icing on the wings is serious, and during landing, the runway surface temperature is a factor to determine on whether you land or divert. Absolutely. Yep, and that's true too. Sharknado, a good documentary? No. We're still going here on some comments here. I bet Josh is relieved. It's not over yet. It's not over till the storm system moves out. So, Zach, you owe him $2.
$2.
Where did that come from? So McDonald's is closed. Frankie, that's your extra snow that you were wondering about. They don't close due to snow. Unfortunately, ice may come from someone who's worked at McDonald's the years and even during snowstorms, huh? Ooh, it's yeah, we're not gonna mention that. No. Yeah, now you did an ACDC concert in 2004. I've got taco fees that I have to pay Brian back from 1996 or 98.
Does that account for inflation?
What's up?
$2.
That might be. Save the
Probably a lot.
raccoons. Well, it sounds like Brian is saving the raccoons. He's got a lot of raccoons at the house. Let's see. I don't think he has. Seems a bit wet behind the ears. Zach, that's a blue tie.
It is.
It is a nice blue tie. Let's check it out.
Thank you.
It's not a snow tie, though.
I thought I would wear it because it kind of looks like snowflakes, but
like
not
it.
really.
You broke a shovel, dude. Anger issues.
Well, the snow was too heavy. Had that low snow ratio.
Do an ice baby wrap?
You got it in you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I can bust it out.
All right. Maybe do it to some radar in the background.
Ice, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Ice, baby. All right, stop. Grab your seat and sit fast, because I'm back with a brand new forecast. Some things got a hold of our winter. Temps razzle up like a kick from Splinter. Will it ever snow? Yo, I think so. But so far this year, it's been a no-go. Temps extreme, multiplies like a vandal. Where's the snow? I think it's a scandal. Break. That's what the teachers all need. One snow day is what I know you all plead. Sledding. Not enough snow to go, but winter isn't over. And this we all know. Love it or hate it, you better make way. It's been too warm. We're all going to pay. The forecast's changing. It's time to prove it. Winter's coming. Parks Hollyville knows it. There you go. Ice,
Not
nice,
bad.
baby. All right. Celsius. Yeah, that's going to start your heart. Give you a little kickstart. Too much math tonight. Yeah, we're going to get your brains working, man.
So ratios.
Oh, here we go. 3 to 4 inches on Brandon Mountain. Okay, that's good. Like that. Stepped outside. All I heard was tow trucks. Well, that's a problem. Just talking about that, how it's cold. Same with thunder snow. It's muffled. You got it. Yes, it's so peaceful outside. Still out there a few minutes. Then I heard Fort Chaffee practicing. Well, that's not going to be so peaceful. Love the socks. Cool. I still hear my wife is yelling at me when it's snowing. Yeah, well, need to get into a heavier snow band right there. Let's see here. Still going on some comments. We're getting caught up.
Got a Interstate 40 accident
I got me. Oh, that's
down in
not good.
Franklin County.
Okay, let's go ahead and we'll go to that. On weather 2.
Yeah, there's no camera, but you can just see like where it is.
Yeah, let me show you this. So on weather 2, I drive Arkansas. Yeah. The camera though. Yep, thanks for doing that. Camera, click on that and let's bring that up real quick. Now, power outages are not going to be a major issue. Yeah.
So that's like 40. Definitely covered in snow.
Deer closing school tomorrow in Newton County. Did I talk to you earlier about getting propane? I think you might have.
I think that was Peyton in his Spaghetti-O stove.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Enough to sled. Just went out. Nice.
Sweet.
Cool. Don't know which one. All right. Let's see here. How much of Bella Vista, please? The plows are working in hyper mode. So let's go back to those totals here. Boy, that is some really heavy snow coming down. I wish I could see what it's like in Mount Ida. Is there any iDrive cameras around there That would be awesome to see. I don't think there are, but we'll look at it. So, how
So
heat
you
and cooling
just
mega
take 40
Doppler.
down there? No.
Yeah, Mount Ida is east southeast of Y City.
Oh,
Just see if there's any. There's only one by Y City. I don't think there are, but click on that. Click on that one by Y City. Let's see if they're getting the snow. Just right there. Oh,
that's like an overpass or
yeah.
a bridge.
So
You
this
wouldn't
is
want to be on that road.
no. This is not good. This is why travel is definitely discouraged. Look at that.
Yeah, so I would say tonight, if you don't have to be out, I would definitely not. Tomorrow morning, probably a lot of people have to go to work. Hopefully, school's closed. But tomorrow morning,
That's covered.
That-
and there's
that
not
won't
even
be-
there's not even tracks there.
that won't be cleared tomorrow morning.
Nope. 46 inches in Eureka. I think 4 to 6.
Yeah.
4.6. I don't know. It seems like a lot. Go to if you can go to. Someone had a question about Siloam.
Mhm.
Go to the weather cams close to Siloam Springs. Wait, no, we can do the iDrive Arkansas camera. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go up to zipping up here. This one. Let's see what it's like. Yeah, snow covered. Let that. There you go. Not a lot of people that are on the roads. Yep, that's right. They did have a small fire and it got out of control with the high winds. And I don't know how much it's contained or not, but cracking me up. Brian loves raccoons. So sounds like we got two people here that know each other. Jammin York and Brian. Good friends.
Is Brian the guy who had the raccoons?
You gotta go. Oh man, people are loving you.
Ooh.
Gotta make a curtain call here. Yeah, I know. But someone you got to give what the viewers want, man. Vanilla sleet. Laugh out loud, you're fired. Bella Vista, please. Miss your answer. So Bella Vista probably going to get about maybe 3 inches, I think. Because if you look, the snow totals are just a lot less in terms of the snow rates. So here's a look at the. Now remember though that the radar is picking up that higher elevations in the atmosphere. And let's switch radars here. Let's do something real quick. I'm going to switch the radar. We're going to go to Tulsa. We're going to let it load for a little bit. While you do, we're going to look at an iDrive Arkansas camera. Which one's this, Zach?
This is up there, Bella Vista. Bella Vista interchange west of it.
Yeah.
Southbound. You see a snowplow and a couple of cars.
So what is this about? Let's see. Oh, how about this? Okay. I don't know if y'all have talked about how bad the roads are because I'm stuck sideways in the middle of the road in the last hour, but they are worse than any snowstorm I've been here. More than like an ice storm. My truck is at the bottom of the hill now. I hiked it. So, Brooke, I want to know where you're at because I'm seeing a lot of information about how nasty the roads are. Where are you located? We are over 2 inches in Elkins. Okay, that's good. Do you have to go to work tomorrow? Depends on where you're at. Actually, Edward, I do have a rap name. It's MC Cumulus. Where is that?
That's Pinnacle. That's some heavy snow.
Oh, man.
That's a snowplow right there.
All right, we got to get that on there. Pinnacle Parkways, yeah.
Snowplow. That right there is a snowplow.
So zoom out.
That's I-49.
Whoa, that is heavy snow.
It's coming down. Let me zoom into the lamp post.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some pretty heavy snow
That's
right
some
there.
Big flakes.
Well, that's going to add up.
Let's see if I can get a view.
Ooh, look at that on Mega Doppler. There's some banding that's starting to develop. Yeah, there's a iDrive. There's the Walmart amp. So here's some banding that's beginning to develop, but you'll see breaks in the heaviest snow. So Still going, and it'll go all the way throughout the early morning hours tomorrow. Yeah, that's not as heavy as what it
Yeah.
looked like.
That was a different direction, but
Yeah, so here's another view from that weather camera. Doesn't look as bad that way. So Doug's report's not too far away. Okay, South Cave Springs. My Walmart driver was stuck in a ditch. I mean, here's the deal. We're not making light of the snowfall. It's definitely serious. Roads are slick. If we go to iDrive and we'll look at the road conditions, they're bad all over. I mean, they're snow covered. Yeah, have to zoom out a little bit. Let's show you this. These are the road conditions, and basically everywhere is snow covered. There's that accident in Franklin County. There's going to be some Franklin County, issues on I-40 with that accident, and there's some, ice covered roads. That says ice a lot, though. But I mean, they're definitely not good. Just drove home. How was it, Johnny? Because I'm about to drive home as well. Are you talking to yourself there, Jeremy? Oh, Josh. Okay. No sound? Pretty sure that might be on your end, Donna, because we have some sound here. Uh-oh. Any Baja Blast freezies you can hear. Okay. Yeah, I thought people can hear for sure. So let's look at some of the model forecasts. Yeah, the snow is happening. I really want to see what happened in Amarillo because that seems like a lot of snow for wraparound. See, that's not all wraparound. So here's a look at the snowfall in Amarillo, and look, you have right there. That's warm air advection. That's warm advection snowfall. So the warm conveyor belt. That's not wraparound. Yeah, that's the snowfall there. Then it starts the wraparound process. That's probably going to be a heavy band of snow, but I don't think that was all wraparound. Would you agree?
I don't think so. It looks too heavy.
And then you look right here, and it is filling in a little bit, but it's not going to be as much. In fact, why don't we do this? We'll look at the radar. So here's the radar floater from Oklahoma City, and you can see there's some bands, no doubt about that. Precipitation showing up, make its way east, more snow popping up, but Tawnytown will not be clear for the drive tomorrow. No. There's going to be issues all over because the snow is going to continue overnight tonight. When you wake up in the morning, you'll probably have, on average, 4 to 5 inches across northwest Arkansas. Yeah. Maybe more. Maybe we undershot the totals, but I think overall, I think 7 to 8 might be a lot. We'd have to get double of what we're getting now from the back edge of the system, which is just about to move through here in a few hours. So, yeah. Is it bad in Fort Worth? That's a question that we haven't gotten yet. It's definitely not good. So check this out as we zoom in here. Dallas is getting snow for sure, but it's not terrible because it's kind of a mix. There's been a mix. There's been some rain. There's been some snow. There's been some sleet. A lot of freezing rain, though. I'd love to see the reports. Let's check out some reports. We've got some reports that we can pop up on here. So let's do this. Could do this in real time. So first of all, we'll look at this one. This is snow accumulation 1 inch as of 6 o'clock. And obviously that's a lot more now at this point. We'll go to this one that's west of Alma. So there you have Shibley with Crawford County. Now keep in mind that was at 2 o'clock. It was showing 2 inches. We'll work our way down. Not many reports coming out of northwest Arkansas, and rightfully so because haven't seen as much snow. Let's look at some of these totals in the river valley. So Ozark, 1.5. Clarksville, 2 inches. How about close to the Boonville area, 3 inches. Now, these reports are at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Here's one, Subiaco, 2.1. probably Marty that sent that in. There's Danville, 3.5 in Danville. And then let's look at Poto here. So 5 inches in Poto. That makes sense. All right, I want to see these numbers right here. Take that comment off the screen. It's 4 inches in Smithville, McCurtain County. How about Polk County? 6.5 in Mena. 5.5 Lake Mena. That makes sense. Definitely makes sense. So she was saying, where's the 7 inches you promised? All right, so let's see here. Dan, do you have a town named after you? I do. Danville, right there. Danville has 3.5 inches. How's Little Rock looking? Little Rock is a mess right now, too. I mean, let's look at some iDrive cameras there. Zach, we'll bring those up. Yeah, Little Rock's getting some really heavy snow. Look at that band right there that's developing.
It's a wreck.
Okay, on 67, 167?
Yeah, northbound.
Yeah, let's bring that up here. Show you what Zach's looking at real fast. So here's iDrive Arkansas.
That is northbound.
Northbound, yeah, you can see some slick spots for sure. You gotta love and hate winter weather at the same time, Zach.
Yeah. Let's do a southbound here.
All right.
Definitely not the best traveling conditions. And if you have to be on the roads, definitely maybe think about your route. So it like for me going home, I'm kind of avoiding hills, thinking about if I did accidentally weren't able to stop, where would I go? If there's like a stop sign,
Yeah.
So definitely
that trucker
be
did look to
careful.
be stuck. Yeah. Anytime I go to Little Rock, I always go to Raising Cane's. Oh man, driving a semi will be difficult. How about some of the long, expansive bridges on I-49? Let's check that out. In the meantime, I want to look at.
Oh, there's a wreck in Washington County.
There is now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
This is southbound I-49 in Lowell or by Lowell. Let's see.
Probably not spun the right way. All right, it's hazardous. There's no doubt, and we'll see what I'm experiencing weather-wise. So you got to take it easy. Don't slam on the brakes. Don't accelerate fast. Manual drive.
Buy a
Best.
manual.
Yeah.
If you have an automatic, trade it in. Get a manual.
Okay, so here's a look at that. So we got basically one more round of this precipitation coming through where you got the heaviest snow. The heaviest snow is going to fall around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But see how it kind of falls apart too at the same time? It's really being sapped with all that moisture down to the south. So, oh, here we go. Took a measuring tape outside on top of truck, 4 inches in the grass, 2 inches. So there you go. There's that melting that takes place on the roads. And so
your truck is pretty much 10-1. Doesn't take into account the compaction.
At the Cotton Bowl here, I looked at the cams on I-49 over the hill. Going over that would be super bad tonight. Yeah. Here's one right here. 1 1.25 inches, 3 miles south of Flippin, Arkansas. This is a good comment right here, Jesse. We do need to look at some time lapses because not only do that, I have a long time lapse too for some of those cameras. But let's look at some here. Let's check this out. Kessler Mountain. So this is a zoomed in view of Razorback Stadium, and you're going to see this just turn completely white. So watch this. We'll put it into motion. 10-second time lapse. Nothing, no snow, white out. And then it clears out, and then more white out conditions, and then basically that's a worthless time lapse.
Yeah, it's going pretty quick.
How about this one though?
That's probably pretty good.
This will be good. Oh yeah, look at those high clouds rolling in. Here comes the snow. See when the visibility drops, that's when you really get the heavy snow. And so there are times where they were getting bursts of snow, but it's not super steady. It's not constantly doing that. Let's look at our Weatherbug Network camera. You saw this one in Fort Smith with the melting. I thought that was a great example of melting. Look at how the roads got a little better. Here's our PG Telco Weatherbug Network camera in Lincoln. By the way, a sunrise to look at that. Now, did you know that the saying red sky in the morning, it'll be foul weather is in the Bible?
I did know that.
Matthew 16, verse 1 and 2, when Jesus is talking about the signs of the end times. He's able to say you can discern the weather by just looking at the sky.
Yeah.
A red sky in the morning, it'll be foul weather later on, and a red sky at night, sailor's delight. Well, there it is right there. You definitely have an orangish red sky, and look, lo and behold, we put this into motion, and there you're going to see the snowfall coming. There
Yeah,
it
we
is.
were talking about that last spring.
Yeah.
And I think Cade was the one who actually brought it up.
Because I'm the one that taught him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, no doubt. Here's Mount Magazine. There's that red sky, by the way, starting off the morning. And then here's the snow. I'm going through this a little slower. Yeah, there you see, right about noon is when that snow band really came in. And now you're going to see those snow totals piling up. And then, of course, when it goes dark, you don't see anything anymore. All right, so now finally, Pea Ridge. Here's the Pea Ridge Weatherbug Network camera. Quiet, nothing. At this point, we're like, you know what? We got to move this camera, get a better view of the snow coming down. So I did. Moved it to the west. Clutch camera. There's the snow. Now, I got a question for you. For those that are in Pea Ridge. Jesse, do they have a heated field? Because this doesn't get any snow at all. Well, there it does. There it started to pile up. But guess it just wasn't heavy enough. So there you go. Time-lapse, seeing some snow. Look at how you can see it in the lights, and then bursts of snow coming down. And then at the very end, that's when the snow really cranks up.
I think the turf is just usually hotter because it has those black rubber pellets.
Yeah.
Usually. It just absorbs all that radiation. Check out that red sky.
There's your red sky right there from Siloam. That is gorgeous. As those high clouds roll in, here's the snowfall. Let's see what time it started snowing. Right about 2 o'clock. That was right about the time that we were mentioning. Notice how the melting is occurring at the same time. The roads are better, but then, of course, as the temperature drops and the roads start to accumulate more and more, that's when you're getting more and more issues. So, yeah, interesting. Will there be tornadoes south of this? You know, they actually do have a marginal risk of severe weather south, but the ingredients for significant severe is not really there. Here's the day 2 severe weather risk, the day 1, and the day 3. Yeah, no, not even marginal. I thought they had a marginal threat. They don't even have a marginal threat for storms and severe weather. I'll show you that real quick. So here's the day 1 convective outlook and the day 2, which is the same because now the day 1 is the same. No severe storms expected along the Gulf, but rain and thunderstorms. Okay, here's a good comment. I just got home from doing an unlock for a customer. I live in Bentonville. The roads are passable if you drive careful. Road crews are doing a good job.
Yeah, another good tip for driving in the snow is, stay to the center of the lane as much as you can. Because if you kind of get off to the, because the snowplow comes in, pushes all that snow off to the snowbank, off to the side of the road. So if you get in that you can start to fishtail.
I'm too lazy to go outside and measure for Fayetteville. I'm probably doing the same thing. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Well, that works too. Which route would you drive home from all of us at the Cotton Bowl? Oh, 35 to Oklahoma City, 40. Do not take 412 from Muskogee. That's not a good idea at all. I would go 35 to 40 because you're going to be driving home and it's going to be nice. Yep, I got it. I got those bowls out for snow ice cream. Be setting that up for tomorrow. No snow, NATO. Saw the trucks out spraying. Completely snow-covered roads in Gentry. Yeah, bald tires isn't good. My tires are definitely getting on the low end. I'll need some new tires myself. So, gosh, it's not fun. That's for sure, especially if you have rear-wheel drive. Those are the worst. So, well, guys, we're going to shut it down here pretty soon because, number one, we got to get home. Two, we're going to be watching it closely. Never heard of that saying, though. Typically, those raccoons aren't out, Brian. This is what he says.
They
You always
are.
heard red sky at noon. The cat's actually a raccoon.
You see a raccoon at noon, you should probably stay away from it.
If we could see Springdale time lapses. You know, we actually don't have a camera for time lapses in Springdale. That would be nice, but we don't. Did I record Springdale? I don't think I did, LK, so sorry about that. That pre-treating stuff smells nasty. Yeah. Oh, dirty diapers. Man, that's a bad smell. Now, is this a TikTok trend? You heard Yellowstone was going to erupt. Eventually Yellowstone will erupt. It's a super volcano, and it'll if it erupts, this will be my last Facebook Live ever.
I think we would cover that for a Facebook Live if that happened.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we launch it.
I think we'd be seeing viewers dropping off during the event.
Yeah, probably losing power, losing
their lives. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is the potential for Yellowstone to erupt. It is a super volcano. In fact, there's a magma caldera that is just enormous.
What was that movie 2012? You ever see that? With what's the guy's name?
I'm looking. I've seen it because I've got my
came out like 2010.
I got my meh face. Gee, imagine that. Something that's destructive and something that's dramatic gets a ton of views on Facebook. Where have I heard that before? Man. Tabitha wondering about snow totals. Well, depends on what model you look at. Depends on what forecast you look at. So far, we got about 2.5 inches. We'll probably pick up maybe double that in Northwest Arkansas. So, 5, good bet. Northwest Benton County, maybe a little less. Might be on the upper end of the 4-inch total. Southwest Missouri really doesn't have much going on. But that's Northwest Arkansas, working our way south. Mountainburg, Alma. We probably need to bump up that 6 to 8, honestly, a little bit higher. If we would adjust it or I'll let Josh do that tomorrow morning, just for the very latest. But snow totals, probably my least favorite thing as a meteorologist is to make those snow accumulation maps.
It's not easy, and it's the one thing everybody wants to know about. And
absolutely.
Not only, people want to know this stuff because if we get a lot of snow or if we don't get a lot of snow and we forecast a lot of snow, people close down their businesses, that can be a big deal.
Yeah, I am going to adjust this. I'm actually going to adjust this live on the air or live on Facebook Live. So we're going to take this, we're going to shift this north because I think that's a pretty good bet right there. 6 to 8 plus here. All right. And then we're going to take this and we're going to go like that.
Turn that beat in.
Yeah, turn off that beat. You know how to do it?
Yeah.
Hit that button. Make that a little bit bigger. And now what I need to do is we need to add one more. We need to add the 8 to 10 range. 6 to 8. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this 6 to 8. We're going to copy it. We're going to paste it. We're going to go with a darker color or a lighter color. And we're going to drop this down. See if I can do that. There we go. And I think we need to do this. There we go. And that's 8 to 10 plus. What do you think, Zach?
I like it.
Yep. There we go. Woo, man. Yeah, you can't even see. That's so much. There's so much snow there. You can't even see.
Colors.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Maybe just bump the snow.
Hold on. I'm going to take the particles. I think I can drop them off.
So make the opacity.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll take the particles and make them slightly transparent. Oh, can't do that because then that's going to take the. I don't think you can alter this. Let's go to snow. Let's go to density scale. Let's turn that down a little bit. Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, I think that's good. Except for that. That's craziness. I'm going to turn off the particles for that. We already know it's going to snow that crazy. Yeah, I like that. Okay, well, there you go. Adjusted it, altered it, shifted that up just a little bit more in the river valley. And I think that's pretty valid. I think that makes sense. Y'all are having fun with the graphics. Exactly. That's how we do the snow totals, by the way. I'm North Georgia. If you have anything on that, it would be cool. North Georgia. Man, that's a ways out from our area. Let's see.
Yeah.
We can show something. We'll cater to our peeps. 100% chance. Yeah, North Georgia, man, you've got a lot of snow coming, potentially, which is kind of crazy. Let's look at the so we can look at the future tracks, a little bit of wider range future track. I've got to do some cleaning up on these shows, Zach.
Yeah, same. Mine too.
It's been kind of crazy because we've been throwing things in left and right. So here is we'll show you northern Georgia. There's the system coming in.
Yeah, having some snow out there.
Oh yeah, you're already seeing snow, and you might get quite a bit as that storm.
Some freezing rain.
Freezing rain and a mix. Yep. You're in North Georgia, north of Atlanta. You'll see snow during the early afternoon tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon, and then it starts lifting out. So definitely a wintry mix in North Georgia. Nice, good power coming down. You guys are getting more than the northern states. Yep, freezing rain is the worst. Yes, it is. Mountain Home getting some snow as well. All right, well, I think that wraps it up. One last look at radar. Pretty decent band going right through the river valley right now. That's going to be some heavy snow. There you see it. And some snow off to the west. And then we show you here. Oh, if it was freezing rain, yeah, it would be trouble. We would be looking at maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice. 412 was horrible. Thanks for the report. Too much. Yeah, no kidding. There's a 7-day forecast. Obviously, the system will be moving out by the early afternoon. Temperatures hovering in the upper 30s, lower to middle 40s Tuesday through Thursday. So we do warm up. No winter systems to speak of for the next 7 days. Maybe beyond that, we'll be watching, of course, and keeping an update on the latest. But we're not going to go over too far out because things can change, as you know. And by the way, shout out to Notre Dame in the college football final.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we find out who Texas and Ohio State who's going to win between those two. So
Let's see.
I can't believe it's on a Friday, but yeah, there's going to be no problem. The storm
Yeah.
system's going to be gone. Travel should be fine, but man, my wife has some back problems too, so I would have to agree with that, Edward. I'm not liking the Ohio State, but I don't want Texas to win either. Those are like our two least favorite teams in the world.
Yeah.
So, Fighting Irish, how about that? That's pretty wild. So, all right, guys, I got to run. Zach, you got to run. Josh Rugger might need to run outside.
Yeah.
2 miles. We may just do that anyways, just for the heck of it.
I'll be down.
I wonder if Josh needs a ride. I'll probably have to get up in a few hours and take him to work. That might be a
Yeah.
possibility.
Well, I mean, on the way home, you'll see how the roads are. You know.
Oh, you're welcome, Cheryl. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. And like I said, you get a little bit more snow. We'll see how this evolves. So far, everything is going good. So you go back to work. Yeah, we're not going to be going on the rest of the night because number one, I got to get some sleep too. I got to get home too. So, and 3, might have to take Josh to work. There is one more thing that I wanted to show. I do think this is kind of cool, Zach. It's called the EFI, the Extreme Forecast Index. And I don't know if you've seen this before, but for those that are in the Memphis area, you've got to see this because this is pretty substantial. What? What was that message that it showed? I don't know. This is pretty wild. You ready for this? Got to show you this. The EFI, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. So see if you can bring up, I don't think it works, Zach, but if you go into here and you go into open screen share, oh, it did. Okay, it does work. Share. So this right here is called the EFI, the ECMWF, Extreme Forecast Index. That's what EFI stands for. Now, typically, you don't see values around 99.1, but that is a huge area of that. Also, you see what's called the shift of tails getting up to 10. What this tells you is that if you live in eastern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, and southwestern Kentucky, you have the potential of exceeding an extreme event. And what we mean by that is the European is basically saying this could be a lot more extreme than what we're expecting. But notice how northwest Arkansas isn't really in that risk area. So you see that area that's northwest Arkansas. Yeah, there's some blue, but the better chances of heavier snowfall will be farther east and southeast. That's pretty substantial to see those high in numbers. I've never seen that large of an area as a 1.0. That basically says this is going to be an extreme weather event, and it's probably going to be more extreme than what climatology shows for this type of storm.
Yeah, and I was seeing earlier in the week they were saying that the amount of water vapor with this storm is very high, anomaly high for this time of year.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing all this snow.
What's called essentially the precipitable water. The precipitable water, the amount of moisture that's in the atmosphere. So, anyways, that's the EFI. Kind of cool to show you that. And that we could just keep going and going and going, but that's pretty impressive for the snowfall. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens
Should
tomorrow
we
morning.
check,
We'll know.
power outages?
You know,
It should be good.
I think we should be good, but
Good.
yeah, maybe that wouldn't be a bad
Check them
idea.
out real quick. Haven't looked at them. South Arkansas.
But that's the icing.
That's where the freezing rain is.
Yep. That's another thing too. I didn't understand the whole power outage stuff for us. So Southwest Arkansas, yes, you can see it right there showing up. So you got about 3,000 in the county that are out. There's only 8,000 in the county for Little River County, and you got 654. So a handful of power outages. Not, I wouldn't say necessarily catastrophic by any means, and 98 out in Scott County. So who knows? That could have been someone that slid into a power pole, knocked it down.
Yeah.
Accident there that knocked that out. But only 11,000 customers without power. Let's go real quick, if we can, and look at the wider view. And quite a few more. 27,000 without power. And in Arkansas, 11,000 overall total.
California out there.
California,
wow.
And you know why that is? That's all the wind, the extreme wind that was happening. I mean, we're talking 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. In fact, that reminds me, I need to call my mom and see how she's dealt with this storm, because she lives in California. So yeah, we did. We talked about it. There's not any effects from the smoke at all for us. The smoke won't be getting here. Just the pattern doesn't favor it. Dumping in Hot Springs absolutely is a dumping. It is super heavy snow. One last look at that, and then I promise we're going to shut it down. Closing in on 5 inches on my mountain in Lincoln. Wow. Okay, that's impressive. Now you're a higher up, so that's the 5+ that we talk about. But overall, 5 inches in Lincoln is not the norm. That's up on a mountain. Yeah, there's your Lincoln Weather Bug Network camera. Look at the visibility too. It's not super low, so the snow that's happening isn't crazy. But wow, look at Hot Springs here. Let's go to the Little Rock radar and look at that. Wow, that is some heavy snow. My goodness, look at that, Zach. Blue everywhere.
Top of the scale.
Yeah. Top of the scale. We look at this, and that shows you all of that snow. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Palisades. Yeah, Pacific Palisades. Yeah. So La Jolla, San Diego, they haven't been affected because they weren't in the bulk of that storm system. So, I don't know if we had that up on the graphic. I don't think we did. So, let me go back to this. You weren't seeing that. You were seeing there. Look at that, top of the scale. Wow. Yeah, I know, Kat. You called me out on it. You were looking at Cali. I was looking at the wrong monitor. Anyways, that is a lot of snow. My goodness, that is heavy. Then you look at the satellite radar, and you can see that is some super heavy snow. See how those dark blues aren't necessarily happening as much over us? That gives you an idea that moisture is being sapped before it gets here. So, all right, laters. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Zach, great work today. Thanks to my weather team, Josh and Peyton. Josh holding down the fort this morning. He'll be in 5 o'clock in the morning with the latest. He'll be doing live updates as well. And, and Peyton down in the River Valley, crushing it with his live reports.
And if you have to be on those roads, take it slow. If you can avoid travel, I would probably do it.
And we'll close out with this because I watched this show the other night, The Truman Show. You ever seen it?
I've seen that. Yeah, it's a great movie.
And he says, and in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.